Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Stocks wrap up stellar 2024. Major U.S. indexes saw double-digit returns this year. Wall Street hasn't done this well in decades. The S&P 500 logged 2 consecutive years of more than 20% gains for the first time since 1998. The story of markets and the economy in 2024: strong corporate earnings, a presidential election, and resilient retail sales were just some of the factors behind the economy's stunning run. Investors hope for a stock market trifecta. Investors are expecting more gains for the stock market next year. Now let's look at the new headlines for 2025. Johnson reelected as House Speaker after promise to work with Doge. Mike Johnson was able to keep his spot Friday while seeming to offer minimal binding concessions to hard right Republicans. Okay, this may not be ideal, but at least it's over for now. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best on this issue. Trump to be sentenced before Inauguration Day. The New York judge overseeing President-elect Trump's hush money case upheld the historic criminal conviction and scheduled sentencing for January 10th, court documents show. I guess we'll add that to our calendars, right, guys? The big picture? That's just 10 days before Inauguration Day, though Judge Juan Mercan indicated in his written decision that Trump won't face jail time. The debt ceiling fight is back. Here's what happens now. On December 27th, Treasury Secretary Janet "Inflation is Transitory" Yellen wrote a letter to congressional leaders explaining that the federal government will hit its debt limit as early as January 14th unless Congress or the Treasury takes action. Janet was the girl who took $800,000 from Ken Griffin while she was between jobs just to perform a couple Zoom calls for Citadel. But they instead went after Trump for a $130,000 payment to a porn star to sign an NDA about an affair from 2006. Anyway, when the debt limit is reached, the Treasury Department has the means to delay a default for a few months using a process called extraordinary measures. Basically, they can move money around various government accounts to delay an actual default on U.S. obligations. Quote, the Treasury currently expects to reach the new limit between January 14th and January 23rd, at which time it will be necessary for the Treasury to start taking extraordinary measures, Janet "No Tellin' Yellen" stated. And what happens, you ask, between January 14th and January 23rd? That's right, January 20th, or the Trump inauguration. So I guess we'll add the January 14th to the 23rd time window to our events calendar. Am I right? Now, guys, check this out. The crypto industry will host its own inaugural ball for President Trump on January 17th. BTC Incorporated and Stand With Crypto will host the first ever crypto ball at the Andrew Mellon Auditorium in Washington, D.C. Trump's inauguration committee has raked in $200 million so far, with projections of hitting $225 by the big day. This is one of the largest in history, and crypto money is all over it. Ripple alone dropped $5 million, making it one of the top donors. Coinbase and Kraken each donated at least $1 million. Guys, Ripple paid him in XRP. That makes Trump one of the biggest holders of my favorite crypto project. Think about that for a minute. If Trump didn't know much about XRP and what it can do, he knows now. Hey, Barry, you want to talk about a trade setup now? Big tech names like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Sam Altman join the mix, each contributing $1 million. The tech sector sees crypto's rising influence and wants a piece of the action, or at least a favorable regulatory shakeup. Paul Atkins, a longtime crypto ally, is expected to replace SEC Chair Gary Gensler. If this happens, it would end what the industry sees as an era of hostility. Atkins is viewed as someone who gets it. According to the author, I mean, this guy first invested in Bitcoin over 10 years ago. So we put the crypto ball on the calendar just in case someone says something crazy, right? It's on there, January 17th. Guys, if you're new to crypto, you have to learn, you have to read, and one source I learned from is the Milk Road. 2024 was a hell of a year for crypto. It was the year that set us up for the golden age of crypto, as explained in last week's PRO report. While the golden age may be here, we still believe crypto prices will likely top within the next 12 months after an exciting run to the upside. Once we hit the top, we believe we are due for another large decline in prices, though likely much less aggressive than previous cycles, at least for the majors. In case you're new here, historically, crypto has moved in 4-year cycles, 3 years of number go up, and 1 dreadful year of number go down. This has happened like clockwork for crypto's entirety so far. You can see this represented in the chart to the right, with the green lines representing the highest price of Bitcoin in each cycle and red representing the lowest price. Now, guys, I want you to know I don't always agree with the experts, and neither should you. I think everything they said here makes good common sense, but they may be underestimating the impact crypto being adopted all over the world may have on the space. When the President of the United States claims he may use Bitcoin to pay off debt or establish a federal Bitcoin reserve, you have to admit that could change the math on your forecast. Now, Kyle from Milk Road had some other interesting things to say about potential pullbacks. For example, 2016 and 2020 were very good years for crypto investors, so naturally people wanted to take profits. However, if investors sold on December 31st instead of January 1st, they would need to pay their taxes on their capital gains come March in the USA just a few months later. Alternatively, if they wait 1 day and instead sell on January 1st, they don't need to pay taxes until the following March. Essentially, they are taking out a loan from the government, i.e. the taxes they owe, for an entire year with the ability to continue investing it before needing to pay it back. Of course, it doesn't always work like this, but especially in crypto, where the gains are massive and it's dominated by individual investors rather than institutions, tax pullbacks tend to be exaggerated. Kyle goes on to speak about March. If you look at the charts to the left, you'll notice that we also had a significant pullback in 2017 on March 8th and again in 2021 on March 14th. What's happening here? This is generally people selling profits to physically pay their taxes in March. Again, this is specific to the US, but we are a large part of the capital base in crypto and tech, so that's why they need to pay attention to our buying and selling patterns. This could be people who sold off January 1st the year before and now need to sell their loan from the government just mentioned on the previous slide, or just in general, people taking profits to pay taxes. Interestingly, even if there aren't actually a lot of people taking profits to pay taxes, it's a common narrative that this is what happens in March anyway, effectively memeing this pullback into existence. Of course, pullbacks can happen at any time. This is not a perfect science. See the 2021 Bitcoin chart with 5 big pullbacks by May. The takeaway from this is that the pullbacks will happen. I don't know exactly when, though it's possible it could be in January and or March for the reasons mentioned above. One pullback that does happen more often than not, however, is in May. Q2 2025, sell in May and go away? Did you know that since the 1970s, the 3 biggest indexes in the US have made the most of their gains between November to April? Check out the averages on this chart versus May to October. That's valuable information if you need to take profits, hedge your positions, or are looking to buy at more favorable prices. Guys, write this shit down. I'm not doing this to hear myself talk. So does the sell in May and go away theory work? If we look at Bitcoin's average monthly performance since 2010, its four worst performing months are June, July, August, and September. But don't forget, there's a new sheriff in town, both in the White House and at the SEC. So these long-standing tendencies may get tested this time around, but you should definitely be aware of them. Now, this is not investment advice. I am not an investment advisor. I will never tell you to buy, sell, or hold any security or cryptocurrency. But picking the right crypto project or a portfolio of them before May could make you a millionaire or substantially richer if you already are one. On your screen is Bitcoin's price chart from 2020 to today. Circled in red is May to October for the last 5 years. I rest my case. But Uncle Frank, this is crypto. Why are we following Wall Street stock market adages? Well, Wall Street and the world, for that matter, are diving into crypto like never before. You may be in the right place at the right time. This season could turn out to be the greatest opportunity of a lifetime, or your greatest regret if you play it wrong or find yourself on the sidelines. Guys, you put your own crypto portfolios together, but speaking only for myself, Ripple's XRP remains the cornerstone of my personal crypto portfolio. I have never seen a better trade setup in my life, and that's after watching the coin run from 50 cents to nearly $3 recently. Let's begin with what could be one of the biggest stories of 2025. Elon Musk's payment system, X Money, launches this year. Will crypto be allowed? We just got confirmation that sometime in 2025, Elon Musk will be launching X Money, a payment system built to transform X, formerly known as Twitter, into an everything app. That kind of app combines social media, payments, and possibly cryptocurrency into one chaotic and perhaps world-changing experiment. If anyone can pull it off, it's Elon. Love him or hate him. The question now, though, is, will crypto finally get a seat at the table? Linda Yaccarino, X's CEO, dropped the news on New Year's Eve 2024. She also announced extras like XTV and Grok, Elon's AI baby, to complete the all-in-one fantasy app. But will it include crypto, Bitcoin, Doge, XRP, XLM? Under the heading "A billion users and $1 X hit 1 billion users in December. Elon himself confirmed it. Though only about 40% of them are truly active, mostly during major events. Still, 1 billion is no joke. That's a massive base for a payment system, especially one Elon is positioning as a potential rival to WeChat. If you're not familiar, WeChat dominates China by letting users do everything from messaging to shopping to transferring money, all without leaving the app. Elon has been eyeing that model for years. The first big hint that X Money was in the works came in November when a $ icon mysteriously appeared on Joe Rogan's profile. But let's not forget licensing. X Payments LLC has secured money transmitter licenses in 33 U.S. states, a critical step to operate legally. But New York, America's finance capital, is still a problem. Without a license there, X Money won't be able to operate in one of the biggest financial markets in the world. Let me take this opportunity to remind everyone just who is approved in New York. Ripple. Ripple secures New York State approval for RLUSD stablecoin launch. Ripple Labs, under the leadership of CEO Brad Garlinghouse, has achieved a significant milestone. If you ask me, Elon should choose the payments company that has a former U.S. Treasury Secretary on its board instead of a coin developed by a phantom named Satoshi Nakamoto, an unknown person. Elon should choose Ripple due to XLM for peer-to-peer and XRP for cross-border payments instead of a coin that started off as a joke like Doge. Elon should choose Ripple due to the success of the RLUSD launch instead of Tether, which is being delisted. When I speak about a trade setup, this is what I'm talking about. At the time of this recording, I have XRP trading at $2.42. I have a new crypto-friendly president coming into office in 16 days. On that same day, we'll see the exit of the worst SEC chair in stock market history, who spent his final years terrorizing the crypto space. Not only that, but he may be replaced by a crypto enthusiast. We'll all be watching Ripple in court this month on the 15th, and even if it's a bad day, even if the token sells off, this case will not last forever and could end at any time. Nothing can change the fact that the courts have deemed XRP is not a security and is one of only 2 projects on the planet that has that regulatory clarity and distinction. But to top it all off, I have no less than 6 possible XRP-specific ETFs in the pipeline ready to go at a moment's notice. Crypto asset manager Bitwise files for XRP ETP with securities regulator. Canary Capital files registration statement with the US SEC for spot XRP ETF. 21 Shares joins the race to launch an XRP ETF with SEC filing. Wisdom Tree files for spot XRP ETF with SEC following Bitwise and 21 Shares. Grayscale XRP Trust surges 300% in 2024 as XRP ETF speculation grows. Whispers of BlackRock's XRP ETF interest emerge. Expert anticipates liquidity surge. Now, guys, remember, they started filing those XRP ETF proposals back in October of last year. So I think one could drop at any moment, giving scores of new investors access to the project. Now, I don't know if your favorite crypto project gets headlines like these, but this is nothing short of spectacular. XRP news, XRP ETFs incoming. 80% of Japanese banks to adopt Ripple. What does this mean for the XRP price? Yeah, I've never seen that kind of headline for Doge, Floki, Taco Cat, Bonk, or Fartcoin. I've traded some of those projects, and I'm not belittling you if you have also. But the point I'm trying to make is this is adoption on a scale that is incredible, to say the least, unimaginable until now. But what else is ahead for the company Ripple in 2025 besides an IPO, which is back on the table now that Gensler is out on his bony ass?
We start off with our correspondent, Bella, who will tell us about the recent developments at Ripple and the excitement surrounding 2025.
Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has expressed significant enthusiasm for the year 2025, highlighting the increasing momentum and focus on real-world utility. Ripple has made substantial progress by forming new partnerships with major financial institutions, aiming to reshape the financial landscape. The XRP Army shares this optimism, particularly with the potential approval of an XRP-related ETF by the SEC, which could enhance XRP's legitimacy and market appeal.
Indeed, the anticipation of a pro-crypto leadership under a Donald Trump presidency, with key appointments like Paul Atkins as SEC chair and David Sachs as AI and crypto czar, suggests a more favorable regulatory environment for digital assets. The settlement of the SEC lawsuit against Ripple is also seen as a hopeful turning point.
In 2024, Ripple achieved significant milestones, including a partnership with EasyA to educate developers on smart contracts and collaborations with SBI Group and HashKeyDX for blockchain solutions. Ripple's acquisition of Standard Custody and its partnership with ClearJunction further solidified its market presence. The introduction of the stablecoin RLUSD, backed by U.S. Treasuries, highlights Ripple's commitment to innovation in cross-border payments and DeFi.
Thank you, Bella, for those insights. As we begin this new year, market sentiment remains cautiously optimistic, with investors closely watching Ripple's trajectory and regulatory developments. And with that, we wrap up our headlines for today. Thanks for listening to Ripple Unicorn News. If you want to learn more about private investing opportunities, visit link2.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Now, subscribers to this channel know that I love to jump into meme coin and other spec plays now and then. I recently bought a little Floki on some of their strong developments, but my crypto portfolio has evolved to focus mainly on ISO 222 tokens, with XRP being the foundation and my largest position by far. This space includes, of course, Ripple XRP, Stellar XLM, Hedera HBAR, Quant, XDC, Algorand, and IOTA. But with all the things going on in the market, politics, world events, it's easy to take your eye off the ball, and that applies to me as well. I've been fascinated by the early progress of Archer Aviation and the entire eVTOL space. I can't help but speculate in AI, quantum, and quantum software. Because I'm a position trader, it's impossible for me to resist trading volatility using the VIX options. But I must warn my subscribers. I believe something may be close on XRP. I also believe there could be a rapid succession of events that propel the coin to a new all-time high. Now, here's why you may detect a sense of urgency from me. ISO 222 Global Financial Standard, that was first published over 2 decades ago, but its adoption has accelerated in recent years due to the globalization of financial markets and the need for interoperable payment systems. We've had a deadline already go by. December 31st, Fedwire Fund Service customers had to complete DIT2 certification. Coming up March 10th, the Fed Reserve's Bank Fedwire Fund Service will transition to the ISO 222 message format. The old Fedwire Interface Manual, or FAIM, that'll be retired on March 9th. Then by December 31st, Fedwire Fund Service customers must complete DIT2 certification. So it looks like this thing is marching along. Having said that, this month's events calendar is both exciting and terrifying at once. A black or white swan could land at any moment. We could get a sudden crash or vault to new all-time highs, maybe even both. We have seen terrorist events on U.S. soil. All the wars overseas continue, and a new one could surface. None of our economic crises have gone away, and some new ones have developed, such as the debt ceiling challenge. So let's go through the events calendar step by step so we're prepared for what's ahead. Starting with Monday, January 6th, 9:45 a.m., we'll see S&P Final U.S. Services PMI. Tuesday, January 7th, 8:30, U.S. Trade Deficit, followed by job openings at 10 a.m. Wednesday, the 8th, we'll see ADP employment at 8:30 a.m., and you'll notice I have the VIX options expiration days on the calendar for every Wednesday this month because I trade volatility. The same goes for initial jobless claims. That's at 8:30 a.m. every Thursday morning, and the Fed will be watching for hot or cool numbers on that, so you should too. Then Friday has the big release, U.S. employment report and unemployment rate from the BLS at 8:30. Now the following week, things begin to ramp up. Tuesday the 14th, PPI. Wednesday the 15th, CPI. And we'll also have a court appearance in the SEC versus Ripple case on the 15th. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit has ordered the SEC to submit its opening brief in its appeal against Ripple Labs. The SEC is expected to present detailed legal arguments for its appeal. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, emphasized that this appeal is not about whether XRP itself is a security. Both XRP and Bitcoin are uniquely classified with regulatory clarity, standing apart as the only crypto assets definitively not classified as securities, a point the SEC is not challenging in this appeal. Ripple has already filed Form C, outlining the issues it plans to raise in a cross appeal, and Alderoty highlighted that the appeals court will review only the existing record. Quote, the SEC can't submit new evidence or ask us to produce more, he stated, noting this limits the possibility of the back and forth over documents that characterized earlier litigation stages. So we could get great news, we could get awful news, we could get nothing. That Friday the 17th is the first inaugural crypto ball, and we'll be watching the tweets for 2025 crypto information leaks. Let's hope we're celebrating the SEC getting its ass kicked in court again. Did you notice all the dates from Tuesday the 14th to Thursday the 23rd are highlighted in yellow? That's because that's when the federal government could hit the debt limit, forcing the Treasury to take extreme measures. Now, what should concern us all is that debt limit time window includes Trump's inauguration day. That's only 16 days away, and did you know the markets will be closed on that Monday, the 20th, because it's also MLK Day. That makes the VIX calls expiring that week on the 22nd very interesting to me and a lanky projectionist in Michigan. So the question is, do the bad actors have anything planned for us between now and then? That possibility has me on Swan Watch until Trump moves into the White House and Gary Gensler moves out of the SEC. If all that wasn't enough, Trump's inauguration week is also the week of the World Economic Forum, where they meet to plan your future and discuss cow farts, vaccinations, transgender toilets, etc. On Saturday, January 25th, a rare planetary alignment will occur featuring Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn clustered together after sunset, all visible to the naked eye. The week after that will be this year's first Fed meeting. Unless the world goes to hell in a handbasket, we will not be getting another rate cut, but we will be hanging on every word following that FOMC meeting on Wednesday, the 29th. Then don't forget the Fed's favorite indicator, PCE, comes out on Friday, the 31st. Take a screenshot so you know what's going to happen and when, kiddies. This could be a bumpy month, so buckle up, buttercups. Guys, I know that was a lot to digest, but I would be making a mistake if I left this out. You need to go to Earnings Hub and print out the earnings schedule for the month of January, especially the second half of the month. Wall Street itself will be reporting its earnings in the middle of all this, but they will also be giving forward-looking statements about how they feel about 2025. Please be aware they will be reporting this critical information within the debt ceiling window when the government could run out of money, even default. This is only days before the Trump inauguration. Beginning the 15th, we'll hear from behemoths Chase, Goldman, BlackRock, Citi, Schwab, Wells. That's the same day we'll see CPI for December. This will be followed by Morgan Stanley and B of A on Thursday, but also United Health Group, who, as you know, just lost their CEO. All of this makes for explosive conditions, and that's just the beginning. The last week of the month doesn't slow down. We have a Fed meeting, PCE, the Fed's favorite indicator, and then the tech giants and others report. SoFi, UPS, GM, Microsoft, AMD, Tesla, IBM, Apple, Amazon, Meta, and even big oil will show up with Shell, Exxon, Chevron, and Phillips. Guys, I'll be doing another video this weekend about individual stock plays like Archer Aviation and hot sectors like AI and quantum, but I'm currently laser focused on XRP. When it comes to the market, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm preparing for the worst as well. I'll be looking for opportunities to hedge for the downside, going long volatility. If that scenario presents itself, I will disclose my trades. In closing, I want you to know millionaires can be made in seasons just like this. The traders that bet right on crypto, EV tolls, AI, quantum, and market direction, up or down, can prosper greatly if they make the right calls. Those that hedge properly may escape from a terrible crash richer than when they started. We're going to have to watch commodities, interest rates, the dollar, and precious metals in the weeks ahead to spot opportunities and clues. I'm going to end this episode with a story about my favorite trader of all time, Jesse Livermore. He once said, after spending many years on Wall Street and after making and losing millions of dollars, I want to tell you this. It never was my thinking that made the big money for me. It was always my sitting. You got that? My sitting tight. Jesse knew how to take a position he felt strongly about and then held winning positions mercilessly. He was the original holdler, and he had his share of AMCs too. Some of Livermore's trades, such as taking short positions before the 1906 San Francisco earthquake and just before the Wall Street crash of 1929, are still legendary within investing circles to this day. Livermore ran away from home in 1891 at 14 years of age with $5 in his pocket and immediately started as a board boy in the offices of Payne Weber. He made so much money he was banned from the bucket shops of Boston and New York. He sold the market short before the crash of 1929 and entered the Depression with $100 million in cash. Jesse lived in a magnificent mansion on Long Island with 14 servants and a 300-foot yacht anchored off the backyard that ferried him to Wall Street every morning. A mysterious and secret trader, he worked out of a palatial penthouse, a highly secure office fortress on Fifth Avenue, where he traded in absolute secrecy. Once the market was open, no one in the office was allowed to speak until the market closed. In the panic of 1907, J.P. Morgan called Jesse to beg him to stop selling short, stop pounding the market into oblivion. He made $3 million in one day during the panic. That wasn't J.P. Morgan, the company, that called. That was J.P. Morgan himself. Jesse wasn't like the short sellers of today, like Ken Griffin, who have every advantage in the world but still have to cheat to win. Jesse brought the street and even the country to its knees on several occasions, and he did it with nothing more than a ticker for quotes, a legal pad, a pencil, his convictions, and his ability to stand on his winning trades like no other trader of his day. Don't give up, guys. Keep learning every day, and remember, if Roaring Kitty can do it, so can you. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.